Good afternoon, and welcome to another ironic introduction to another video. Today, with the start of the Season 10 Alliance War map, I wanted to talk real quick about why Omega Red just absolutely obliterates Path 2. And he's already kind of like an MVP in Alliance War. A lot of people use him, but Path 2 in particular is the poison and bleed path, and so you should expect running the Node 1, you'll have poison across the board no matter what difficulty, which Omega Red is immune, as well as enhanced poison and nano plague. I'm not quite sure what nano plague is, so if you have like descriptions for these, I would greatly appreciate if you could like comment me a link. I would like to comment on more of these nodes. I just can't because I can't find the buff descriptions. But let's just go down the hard path because I believe that's where I am currently. So poison and enhanced poison, you just completely ignore that node. It is just a generic fight for you. And then poison, inverted immunity, bleed. Omega Red absolutely just obliterates this node here because he's poison immune, and the inverted immunity bleed actually helps him out in the long run. You have double immunities here, which he doesn't care about, and double immunities here, which he doesn't care about. And so Omega Red can single-handedly take down this entire path. And the reason he can do that is because if I click on Omega Red here, you have the standard poison immunity, but he is not immune to bleeds. He takes 90% reduced damage, and if you put 1 point in Coagulate, you actually take 100% reduced damage, and you should expect on an inverted immunity bleed node that other people will put bleeding champions to defend there because they know that you can't have bleed immunity. Well, Omega Red kind of bypasses that in the sense that he's not bleed immune, but doesn't take any damage from them, and in fact, his death factor, his death field, while Omega Red is bleeding, he emits the death field, causes him to do damage for every death spore on the opponent, and it builds all the way up to 30 instead of the soft cap of 10, and you just get this for free on this node. Normally when you run Omega Red, you run double edge, and you max that out, run 1 point to Coagulate, so you don't take any damage, you actually heal from it, excuse me. But with this inverted bleed immunity, it just really absolutely crushes the node, and it almost feels like cheating in an alliance war when this one champion can just absolutely obliterate the path. So yeah, I don't really feel like I need to explain that more just because Omega Red is a well-known champion, but I wanted to pop in really quick and talk about Abomination for inverted bleed immunity. So the major thing about inverted bleed immunity is that you don't want to bring a champion who removes debuffs or has bleed immunity because you want them to have the bleed debuff but not suffer for it. And so that makes Abomination just absolutely wonderful for this because he isn't bleed immune, but every time he's bled, he has a 95% chance to poison the enemy for free damage. And when you have an inverted bleed immunity node, you should highly expect bleeding champions to be the defender there. And so while Abomination is not typically a great champion to rank up, if you're in a lower tier alliance and you don't have Omega Red / Omega Red does need to be awakened and high sigged, I think Abomination is a really solid backup choice here if you're expecting to run into bleeds there, or you can handle it other ways. I just think that getting this free damage if you were to get hit / I do believe every time you get a new bleed debuff, this ability will trigger. I unfortunately don't have my Abomination ranked up to test this theory, but if I do get around to ranking him up, or if you're someone who hasn't ranked up, please let me know. But I do believe because it is a repeating trigger of an additional bleed debuff that this will trigger and you will have a 95% chance of just free damage on your opponent, which is absolutely crazy because the bleed debuff is 0 damage. Not to mention if they put a bleeding defender there, you will get additional free damage if they hit into you. So I just wanted to comment about that. Other options are like Corvus Glaive, who does have full bleed reduction when he has his blade charges. I'm sure there are a couple other options, but those are really just the few I wanted to touch on. So yeah, if you have a Excel document of all the buffs with the descriptions, please share that with me. I would love to do more commentary on these. I'm going to do a quick commentary on Psychic Thorns here in a moment, but other than that, I will talk to you later.